For us to record this because we want to include your beautiful face when Katrina tells me that you walk on water and that you're her absolute best friend. She
Katrina
loves
is
you.
the best. She is the best.
You know, it's interesting because she literally she's been hounding me. Have you talked to Danette yet? You know, she has Tuesday, she's busy, busy, busy. So I said to her, you know, I said, Katrina, a lot more goes on in my life aside from helping with your filming. I said, I got a business, I got a husband and a son, I have a part-time gig, you know, I like to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Life is filled with stuff. Life is filled with stuff. But has Katrina spoken with you about what we're doing?
She did briefly. It was a while ago though.
Okay, so let me fill you in. I'm just gonna turn everything that I have off
Okay.
because I don't need any of this background noise. So starting in December, I guess Katrina was at a conference in Albany, an equity transition summit, and the person that oversees that is Dr. Tammy Robinson, and she's a professor in the special ed department at SUNY Albany. And she has this forum where she has people really look at the issues of equity across the whole, I would call it diversity forum. So whether it's culture, whether it's sexual preference, whether it's religion, all of those of us that live in this the diaspora call, you know, we got to fight to have the playing field level. Katrina was a part of one of the work groups, and she talked a lot about wanting to take what has happened in her life and to begin to use the lessons that she's learned in the journey to really create, in partnership with a whole host of people. Now, we now call it a Disability Champions Mentoring Network.
Okay.
And the focus behind that is to really take Katrina's life. So a little bit about me, I spent 30 years at Job Path. I was there at the beginning. I left after 30 years because my family owns a video production business. Our son was in college, and our position is coming from a legacy of business owners that, you know, take your best years and invest it in yourself. So my son, like my husband, is a videographer. My husband's worked at ABC, and my son has a real kind of niche for this stuff. So I decided, you know what? After 30 years, let me take some time, invest in our business, grow a video production company where we can make an impact on the community. So thusly, that's why we're involved. But I've always continued to work in the field. You know, I trained for innovations. I did some of the case training for Cornell around supported employment. I was at Job Path 29 years. You know, so I know the business because I've been in it, believe it or not, close to almost 50 years. I should cover my mouth. So anyhow, so when I was chatting with Dr. Robinson about Katrina, I said, you know what? I said, I think that we need to document her journey because a picture's worth a million words. And the other thing that we found, Tammy and myself, we were doing some training for the Alliance. And when we were looking for video clips for our sessions right after COVID, we could find no video clips that represent Black, brown, and yellow communities when it comes to disability. So as a part of a family that we want to put our images and our finger on things, I said, you know what? Our experience in our communities is just very different from the big population. So I said, let's catalog this because the men and women that we all work with, they think they know the story, but they don't know our experience. So we wanted to catalog every step of the process. So thusly, we're doing a whole series that goes along with the Disability Mentoring Project. So the mentors are high school students up to age 30, men and women that really want to engage with students that are still in school, to help them kind of walk that path that Katrina walked, getting the services she needs, someone to kind of negotiate with the individual so that they can have a full experience in school so they can make choices. When Katrina finished school, they told her she had one path a day program. So you want to create different avenues for folks. So a part of what we're doing is covering her story, so that she can talk about the journey. So we wanted to include all of the people that were part of her life, and talk a bit about what your role was. I have a couple questions here that I can ask you. You do most of the talking. My husband reminded me of that this morning. But you don't do all the talking. So we have questions for supporters, but basically your experience with Katrina, how long you've known her, what inspires you about her. But I'll ask the questions. I'll shut up, and let you talk as much as you want and as long as you want. But the project is really to develop a network of mentors that could be connected to students in high school, so that students can have better outcomes, more choices, a more successful life. In this project, we have community service providers, we have colleges, we have the faith-based community, we have different professionals, clearly people that are teachers and principals and educators and all that, because all of that, if you mix it all up together, guess what? It creates success, because that's how all of us become successful. Any questions?
No questions. I'm good.
Okay, cool. So I guess what I want you to do is, because we're going to use clips, of this, when Katrina talks about her allies, is I have about 10 questions. One.
Okay.
One second.
I'm going again. All right, back.
Yeah, Kenny's going to be out there a little bit.
No problem.
Okay. Let me tell you, it's Friday here, where my 2 days a week has been every day for the past 2 weeks. We do food deliveries
Oh, wow.
on Fridays, and one of the places that provides us food, they just came with a truck full of, I've been out there since 7 this morning, and you never realize how it's got onions and peppers and zucchini and lettuce and milk and cans of things. And normally, we've been doing it since the pandemic. And at some point during the midst of the pandemic, we were delivering twice a week about 1,800 boxes each day to families in the community. Wow. And keep in mind, this is a project much like ADAPT. We work with day program, Day Without Walls, supported employment, respite, all of those things. So we're helping them build their supported employment capacity. That's why I'm here consulting with them. I was at Job Path for about 29 years. So we're trying to take now, since the families are allowing their sons and daughters to come back, take the time for them to kind of learn skills. So that's me. Enough about me. So you want to start with the questions?
Yes, please.
She said, yes, please. So we need to you need to say who you are, so we can have that little sound bite. I'm Danette. My first question, Danette, is what inspires you about Katrina?
What inspires me about Katrina? That she just doesn't give up. She absolutely does not give up. It does not matter how hard or how difficult or how much time it will take, because I've known her for, maybe about 10 years, because I've been with the agency for about 14, 15 years. So about 10 years. So I've watched her graduate from high school. I've watched her graduate from college. She does not give up.
How did you meet Katrina?
At work. At work, yes. Her and her parents had an appointment with my director at the time, Amy Bittinger. We were the Family Support Services department within the agency. And she was, just quiet little girl and yes, very soft spoken and said maybe 3 words, if even that many the entire time. And it's just been like amazing to watch her grow into who she is right now and who she will become in the future. It was a time where, like I said, Katrina said maybe 2 or 3 words. When she comes to see me at work, it's just nonstop. Nonstop talking. And I always say to her, remember when you didn't talk? Remember when you would just nod your head and say, yes, well, I'm not sure. And now it's just full-blown conversations. It's just beautiful.
So when you met Katrina, were you providing services and supports to her, or was she receiving services? I guess it was back when it was UCP before that.
Yes, she was. With my department, I do believe it was family reimbursement. Where we provided, well, not we, because I'm not with them anymore, but they provide cash reimbursements, depending on what the family had to put out, just, to help recoup some of that money that they had to put out. And I also believe she came and got services. I hate that I forget what the name of the program is, but they come out and assess your home for adaptive equipment, whether it's equipment or a ramp in front of the home, a lift inside the home, outfitting your bathroom where the tub is removed and they put the lift in and all that. But that is what she had to come to us to receive, those 2 services.
Yeah, we did some filming at Katrina's home, and she has this wonderful ramp that she can get out of her dad's vehicle. It's been adapted, and she has the stair climber, which gets her upstairs. Those would have been the services you provided your agency?
Yes. Oh, the van. That's right. I totally forgot about the adaptive van. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, she tells me that it all started with her getting a laptop.
The laptop. So that must have been the special needs program, right? So it's like Christmas once a year on top of Christmas, right? Where the individual or the family can apply for an item that they typically wouldn't be able to just go out and purchase on their own. 9.5 out of 10 times they get approved, and Katrina had asked for a laptop. She received that laptop.
Yeah, as Katrina tells the story, to remind you a little bit of how she shared it, her face just blossoms when she talks about you, Danette, is that when she got the laptop, she said you were the first person to treat her like a human being. And she said that you were just so nice, so her part of the story, as she shared it with me, and it hasn't changed, is that there was something about your welcoming spirit, and how you encouraged other people not to talk to her as if she was someone that couldn't speak for herself. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
It does, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So when I first got this job, the field was completely new to me, right? And it allowed me to understand where they're coming from, and to also see that they are regular people. Like, why treat them any different? There's absolutely no reason to at all. So being in this field especially with someone as young as Katrina. Yes, there was absolutely no reason for anyone to talk to her any other way that you would talk to any other person, or to treat her differently. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I do that with everyone I come across, only because, like I said, before the job and now having the job, I see the difference. I see the difference. And I've
Yeah.
always treated, the individuals on the job like regular people, because they are. They absolutely are. Absolutely.
Oh, that's for sure. She also shared, and if you could elaborate, that oftentimes when she'd come in and help you with things, that folks would ask you about Katrina, and you would redirect them and say, "Ask her."
Oh, well, yeah, who could tell you best about her than her? Like, why would you ask me if she's sitting right here? Ask her. She'll give you an answer if she wants to.
Danette, that is so powerful because this is probably working on my. I know Amy really well, um, and I think what we all talk about, those of us that live in this field because it's in our DNA, is it's like me sitting next to a friend and someone asking my friend about me, and I'm sitting right there and I'm fully capable. So Katrina said something that was really interesting to me. She said, I'm more than my chair. People see the chair,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like rather than thinking capacity, they see barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Someone needs to help her,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. How do you see Katrina in terms of how she defies all of those odds? Because she's a sassy little thing. She'll text me 50 times a day.
Like I said, she grew into this person, and it's just beautiful. It really is. Um, Katrina she's confident, and when she gets her mind set on what she wants, she is going to 110% go for it. Absolutely, no questions asked. Her chair is an accessory. Okay, that's all it is.
It's like our cars. It just gets us. That's what she calls it. She said, "This is my transportation."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
she's
Yep.
powerful though.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite story about you and Katrina over these years? Can you think of one story that just resonates? Your favorite Katrina story?
My favorite Katrina story. I want to say her her coming to visit me on the job, especially when she started coming by herself. By herself. I would get a text message. Are you at work today? Of course. Where else am I going to be, Katrina? Can I come see you? Of course you can. Well, what time are you going to get here? Well, I'm getting ready. You're getting ready. Who's coming? Your mom is not. No, I'm coming by myself. By yourself? Well, okay, ma'am. Don't let me stop you. And it was just I'd go outside and I'd wait for her, or I would get caught up in work. And next thing I know, she's rolling through the door. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me you were outside? I would have came downstairs and got you. And she's like, for what? I know where your office is. She's like, why?
I love that. I absolutely love that. It's interesting because when we did our first interview in our studio in Yonkers, so I'm asking who she wants to come with her because Tammy was coming down. We were doing the promo piece, and she says, "I'm going to be rolling with." Think about it. We all have this cool language we adapt when we're young. I'm rolling with my friend. So she said, "Aunt Nell is rolling with me," and I love that because it really puts it in the context that she's just this regular young woman that's hanging out with people that she loves and appreciates.
Absolutely.
So how would you describe your connection to Katrina?
Katrina and I are friends. We're friends. When she needs to talk, I'm here. When she needs to vent, I'm here. When she needs encouragement, I'm here. Because that's what friends do for each other. Doesn't matter that she's like a year younger than my son. You know, we're friends. We're friends.
So when did that friend thing happen? At what point in your journey with her did it go from I'm this professional at Adapt, and it kind of, because most of us make our friends at work, right?
Yes.
When did that change?
I think right after she graduated from high school, she came to the job and she brought pictures. And she was like, I got these for you. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You know, because it's not like we had a relationship where we were in constant contact with each other. You know, it was whatever she needed at that time. You know, we would help take care of it and provide it for her. But in just having regular conversation with her, that relationship developed into a friendship.
So it's like, it's like your freshman year in college, you have a roommate, and you have three of them. One I became friends with, I'm still friends with. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of back and forth where you kind of identify those common grounds, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you say she brought you pictures, they were pictures of
graduation pictures, prom, like, in her prom dress and in her cap and gown. And I was like, well, why is she bringing me this stuff, And I was like, oh my gosh, wow. This is how she sees me. Not me seeing her, but this is how she sees me. And I was flattered.
Wow.
I was flattered. Absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
And like we've been friends ever since. Friends ever since. We exchanged numbers, text, talk, whatever it is, never a problem.
Yeah. So when did you realize that Katrina was on a mission to make a difference?
When she went back to college. When she went back.
So I like the went back. So help me. Can you kind of expand on that a bit for me?
So I think it was a huge adjustment for her. She did that first year, and then she was like, I need a break. It's a lot. I need a break. And I get it. It happens. Take your break, but go back. And I told her just like that. I said, take your break. Do what you need to do to get you together. But you got to go back. And it was like a hemming and a hawing, and back and forth and back and forth. And then one day I get a text, school starts. And I'm like, what? Yes, you went back? All right, yes. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And, she went and she took her classes. She did what she was supposed to do. She finished. She's like, I want to do this. I want to speak here. I want to speak there. I want to empower others. I want to encourage others. I want to tell my story. I wanna. And I said, so do it. Why can't you? Do it.
And that's kind of like what friends do for each other, right? Yes. Kind of go for it. I'm there for you. Mm-hmm. So are you a part of Katrina's self-support, the supported decision-making team?
I do believe I am, yes.
And she asked you, and how does that feel about kind of you fall under that umbrella of family now? Because that's what family does for each other. Yeah, you make a decision about this, and it's kind of an interesting balance because you still have a parents who are amazing people and involved,
They are.
but we know in our communities, I just admire her for making that broad step. So can you talk a bit about what that being a supporter slash mentor slash friend, all of those roles that you played in Katrina's life, what that has felt like and what it's meant to you and how you see it impacting Katrina in her life now?
So when she first came to me about it, I was a bit shocked. And then I think once the shock wore off, I just felt honored that she chose me because she didn't have to, right? She didn't have to. I don't so much as see myself in any other role besides being just her friend. I'll take whatever title, they chose, to give. But as far as I'm concerned, we are friends. Katrina and I will always be friends. I adore her absolutely. And like I said, it's a pleasure to just watch her grow into this young woman who has absolutely no problem now getting up and speaking in front of people. I mean, that's not something that I can do. I know that. I'll stand there and read a piece of paper in front of 5 million people, no problem. Don't ask me to look up at the crowd or nothing. Sure, why not? But to get up and speak in front of people, it's like, she's just amazing. She is. It's not something that I would be able to do.
So it sounds to me as if this has been a really kind of reciprocal growth on both sides. That friends point each other's lives, but your life has been enriched by your connection with Katrina. So what's the most important thing that's different for you now because of your relationship with her as a friend?
I don't see disability at all. At all. At all. At all. Like, I absolutely don't see it. I don't. I've learned to look past it because it's not who they are. It's not who they are. And
that's pretty strong, and it's interesting because I can connect with that because I feel much the same way because I think I've grown leaps and bounds myself. And these 40, 50 years I've been doing it, oftentimes I think I've gotten more sometimes than I feel that I've given. It's
yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's just seeing the person, and isn't that considering the times, isn't that something amazing just for the world to kind of gather and grasp?
Absolutely.
Let's look at the person and who they are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely.
So, on this Disability Champion Mentoring Network, what do you, as I briefly described the program, what about it kind of hits you as Katrina? Do you see yourself playing a role, and what would that be? And then the third part of that question is in communities of color. How does Katrina work, you think, as we develop this network, can impact families? She likes to talk about, her community as a place and a space where, if it wasn't for her mother's kind of sharp staying on top of things, and you and I both know that a lot of families don't do it. I just kind of want you to talk about all of those topics in relationship to Katrina because she's driven that way too. She wants to be a voice.
No, she absolutely does. Yes. I think so. Okay. Her experiences have pushed her to want to push others, right? She is only 22, 23, right?
26 now, yes.
20. Oh my Lord, no. Where has the time? Oh man, December just rolls by so fast. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, oh wow, okay. So in those experiences that she's had and those in her life who over the years have pushed and encouraged and helped her to become who she is, that isn't family, she wants to become that for others because she knows what it's like, right? And I say that because that's what I do. And I do it because growing up, I didn't have it. You know, it was family and family, and that was it. You know, I didn't have like that outside encouragement like Katrina had. So to give that to someone else because you had it or because you didn't have it is a big thing because you either know what it's like to have it or you know what it's like to not have it. And you want to be able to give it to others so that they can have that experience. And so like in her growth, in her journey, she's just she's amazing. Like if I think maybe if I had what Katrina has, then maybe I would have gone further. You know? So the fact that she wants to do this to push others is just like the best thing ever. Like why would you not want to? You know? So her
Yeah, it's a gift, right?
No, it absolutely is. It definitely is. So for her to be able to mentor others because someone mentored her, like that's a beautiful thing. You always want to give back, right? You always want to give back. And that's what she's doing. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, she has a generous spirit, doesn't she?
She does. She absolutely does.
Her dad was saying when we did the studio how she has collected all kinds of books and clothing and items for children in the country they grew up in. There's a young fella here in the States that's in a wheelchair that she's helping. She just likes to give. Wow. Think about that.
She absolutely
you know,
does. Yes.
She's a giver.
Mm-hmm. That she definitely is.
So why do you think people, not just Katrina or folks like me and you, why do you think that others should get involved with Katrina's brainchild of developing a network of mentors to work with students while in school? Why do you think people should get involved?
Because everyone needs someone to talk to. Everyone needs someone to talk to. You can't always talk to your parents. You know, you can't always talk to your aunts or your uncles or your cousins or even friends for that matter. You know, sometimes it's best to be able to have a relationship with someone who isn't a friend, isn't a family, but can give you like that honest third party opinion because at the end of the day, they have no stake in your life, right? So whereas what you do is going to benefit you, not them, right? So them giving to you is benefiting you. So why not? I absolutely believe in that. Absolutely.
So would you consider being a part of the team, this village that we're pulling together to help in this project?
Absolutely. Katrina knows
Katrina
I'm
has,
always a phone call away. Whatever she needs, all she has to do is ask. It's never been a problem, and it never will be a problem.
well, you know what? I'm gonna jump into you guys' friendship and say, Katrina, you didn't ask Danette to be a part of the group. What is wrong with you, girl?
Probably because she knows how, well, not how busy I am, but like I have a 9 to 5, right? And I have a part-time job on top of that job.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, I love what I do. I love what I do. But financially, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is
I
what
think, you know, it's kind of interesting because people don't understand that in these trying times that, you know, growing up in the South, you know, you do what you need to do to survive. So, folks say, you busy all the time. Well, you know what? You got to eat. You got to pay your bills. You got to help family. You know,
Yep.
you got kids. You got to take care of yourself. You know,
Mhm.
I admire that spirit, and I can see why Katrina connected with you because you kind of remind me a little bit of myself. You know, you just give and go and give and go. You trust God, you do good, and the only thing that happens is opportunities open and blossom for you. You
That's
know,
all. Hmm.
you know. And Katrina's going places, so you know she's writing a book now. Did she share that with you?
Yes, she did mention that she was writing a book.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So here it is, you with 15 years experience, me with 50. I've never written a book.
Neither have I.
I've written some doggone good papers, but never.
Mhm. Never a book.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, I'm going to turn the recording off because I think there are a lot of bites. I'll just stop it. You know, I'm just